Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. Government disputes credibility of claims made in Parliament. MOU signed between state agencies within the Ministry of Tertiary Education. And expect inclement weather over the next few months. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister the Honourable Kamla Bissessar promises that the alleged email scandal raised in Parliament will be investigated by the relevant authorities.
Addressing the media's questions on the emails, the Prime Minister reiterates that while the email addresses mentioned in the debate are indeed accurate, none of the listed parties are aware of any such emails being sent or received to or from their respective addresses. She adds there are too many significant discrepancies for the emails to even be considered valid.
I'm advised by the AG, none of those emails were sent by him. We had the two senders. I'm advised by Captain Griffith, none of those emails was alleged to be from him, was sent by him. So if you look at it, if you actually take a look at it, I spent a little more time looking at it. The discrepancies, the inconsistencies. For example, there are emails purporting to come from Anand at gmail.com. I just got a text from someone, I didn't think of that point, but they say you cannot set up a Gmail account with less than 6 characters. So try it yourself and see. That email is false, invalid, if you try to send to it or not.
Mrs. Persad Bissessar says she has a clear conscience on the matter. She reiterates that this is evidenced by her swift action in ensuring the police immediately launch an investigation.
For myself, I'm unfazed. I have nothing to fear from it. Immediately I got it. Within the same day, within hours of having this brought to our attention, we passed it on to the Commissioner of Police for investigation.
Mrs. Persad Bissessar also dismisses claims made in the media indicating she was contacted by the Office of the President concerning the alleged emails.
Well, I don't know. That was never raised with me by former President or present President.
The Prime Minister says her focus will now turn to the upcoming state visits to Trinidad and Tobago by the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, and the President of China, Xi Jinping. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General has shattered the credibility of the emails used by the opposition leader during the motion of no confidence brought against the government.
There is no doubt in my mind that what is represented as a thread of emails is in fact a pure and simple fabrication and concoction by someone with a very fanciful and overactive imagination.
The Honourable Attorney General was speaking at a special press conference at his office on Tuesday, where he sought to show up the inaccuracies in the emails that the opposition leader brought to the Parliament during the motion of no confidence brought against the government on Monday. The AG showed variations in the email accounts, fonts, formats, dates and times, and even the absence of a sender. He noted that the email address which he is accused of using to send the emails is in fact non-existent.
Gmail does not allow you to create or open an account utilizing less than 6 characters. ANAN is 4 characters. Therefore, last night, when I tried to type it in, a red warning started flashing saying you must enter at least 6 characters to open an email account. The email account to which repeated reference was made by the Honourable Leader of the Opposition as though it was my email account, therefore does not exist, cannot exist, and therefore has never existed.
The Honourable Attorney General maintained that the thread of emails did not involve his email address whatsoever. In closing, the Attorney General says he will refer the matter to the Privileges Committee and praised the Prime Minister for acting swiftly in bringing it to the attention of the Acting Police Commissioner for investigation. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Moving away from emails to weather, citizens are being told to brace for inclement weather during the next few months. Now this as the ODPM has officially declared the start of the rainy season 2013.
The rainy season is here. According to the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, The arrival of the first rain-producing tropical wave for 2013 on Sunday night heralds the beginning of the 2013 rainy season. The ODPM maintains that given the weather-related history of Trinidad and Tobago, the rainy season has occurred just on time and signals a consistent intervention of tropical waves and the intertropical convergence zone over the next 7 months. The authority is cautioning citizens to expect to see more episodes of rain in the coming months, as preliminary analysis indicates this year's rainy season should be very productive, more so than is usual. Meanwhile, the tropical Atlantic hurricane season is expected to begin on June 1st, 2013, and is forecast to be a very active one, with the formation of 18 named storms, 9 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes, Category 3 and above. The ODPM will issue the relevant bulletins as is necessary when severe weather conditions become present. News 4 spoke to a number of citizens to find out if they were prepared for the rainy season, and this is what they had to say.
Well, I don't think you could ever really be prepared because, you would try to do what you could do, but then you have to be worried about the flooding, and that really damages us a lot. When they cutting of the hills, the garbage in the drain, and we stand up near to a place that floods every time.
I don't worry about anything, traveling, nothing like that but
Well, yes, you see now that this last 3 months is rainy season time, and I hope everybody cater with the umbrella. For instance, like mine, I cater my jacket, because it's stormy time, they say hurricane and lots of things coming around, so I hope everybody cater for it.
And I'll prepare for the rainy season because it will have lots of flood and trouble for transport.
While we can't do anything to stop the rainy season, we can do something to lessen the impact that it has on us. So with that being said, how prepared are you for this rainy season? Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When we come back, promoting the training of individuals in the job sector. A memorandum of understanding establishing the partnering with industry skills, or that should be industry skills for employment, was signed with various state agencies to promote the training of individuals in the job sector. Tertiary Education and Skills Training Minister, the Honorable Fazal Karim, says through this program, persons can obtain their qualifications while earning work experience.
Partnering with the Industry for Skills Employment seeks to provide an opportunity and experience for persons entering the job market. The initiative is as a result of collaboration between sector agencies and the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training. Speaking at the Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony, Minister Fazal Karim says the aim is to develop the full potential of persons in the job market through market needs training.
Today, the NTA is really joining with the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training in saying a special thank you and our very deep gratitude to all the chairpersons and the members of the various committees, and these are called the Sector Advisory Committees. Today, we have launched 4 more sector advisory committees for health, cosmetology, agriculture, and financial services. And all of these are very important as we continue to respond to the human capacity development of our nation.
He adds that persons in the working sector also needed further training and called on persons to continue developing themselves.
Do you know that some persons in this country are pursuing studies at the master's level? I'm forgetting the undergraduate. At the master's level, by producing their portfolio of work and being accepted by international universities? I can tell you that. Without having to do, as a matter of fact, when I did my executive MBA, there were at least 5 persons in my class, none of whom had a first degree. And all of whom succeeded. And some of whom did better than those who had first degrees. I tell you that to tell you it is not about only your qualification and your certification. It is also about your dedication and your discipline and your devotion to duty.
Minister Fazal Karim adds that the program will serve as supplying specially trained individuals for market-driven sectors.
What we are engaging in is purposeful direction of the human resource. Let me conclude by telling you that I'm really deeply appreciative as minister. And you know what makes me more appreciative? You appreciate more where you are when you look and see how you reach where you reach, because I was like you. I used to assist in developing the ITOs at the NTA. You appreciate the contribution you have to make at your own out-of-pocket expenses and your own personal sacrifice. We appreciate all of those. But the reward for that is not only, as I say, when you go higher up, when you meet and you see the people who would not have been where they are had it not been for your work. That's the reward that you have.
Kamla Kalawan, News 4.
There have been major advancements in the information and communication and technology sector, and the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago has been credited with these achievements as it continues to embark on important initiatives.
On the occasion of World Telecommunication and Information Society Day 2013, the Ministry of Science and Technology and the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago are committed to a greater proliferation of information and communication technologies in Trinidad and Tobago. On Friday, TAT held its own launch of WTIST 2013 at its offices in Barataria. The Honourable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Rupert Griffith, noted the importance of ICTs and its impact on the global front in terms of education, healthcare, entertainment, security and the stimulation of wealth. Minister Griffith then highlighted the significant role TAT plays in the local ICT sector regarding access to technologies.
Initiatives undertaken by TAT have brought us to our current context, in which, according to statistics released by TAT at the end of the fourth quarter 2012, in a country of 1.3 million persons, there were 1.8 million active mobile telephone subscriptions with a total revenue of $636 million. The report also revealed that the mobile market grew by 3.1% between December 2011 and December 2012. This statistics provides an example of the widespread access to technologies in Trinidad and Tobago.
Dr. Griffith revealed that in 2011, the telecommunications and broadcasting sectors produced revenues of $4.7 billion, which is 3.3% of GDP. The Honourable Minister anticipates that the 2012 figures would be just as impressive, and he revealed that soon a third mobile provider would soon appear on the scene.
Within the near future, TAT will be using a request for proposals for a third mobile telephone provider for Trinidad and Tobago. The presence of a third mobile provider will serve to stir up keener competition in the market. Alongside this initiative, TAT has also commenced an exercise to introduce number portability in both the mobile and the fixed telecommunications sector. Ladies and gentlemen, number portability will allow consumers to switch service from one telephone provider to another without having to change their telephone numbers.
Another major move by TAT is the development of an internet exchange point, which will allow internet traffic originating and terminating locally to be routed within Trinidad and Tobago, therefore removing the requirement for local traffic to be routed internationally. The IXP is expected to be established by June 30th, but requires the cooperation of all internet service providers.
Let me take this opportunity to urge providers to get together and throw their full cooperation behind the establishment of IXPs, which will redound to the further development of our people.
Coupled with this is the Digital Divide Survey, which TAT would be piloting to determine the lack of access to ICT services due to remoteness, poverty, topography, and lack of infrastructure. This comes as the authority has prepared a universal service framework to facilitate access to basic telecommunications services such as telephone and internet services. Meanwhile, the Science and Technology Ministry is seeking to make amendments to the Telecommunications Act, which was enacted in 2001 and requires adjustments to be in line with the environment that has taken a major shift. The Honourable Minister says his ministry has issued the proposed amendments for public consultation, and he anticipates that this will be finalised by mid-2013 and then taken to Parliament before the end of the year or in early 2014. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When we come back, Wayne Cunningham has the latest in sports. Stay with us. Welcome back. The battle for the final spot in the 2013-2014 CONCACAF Champions League got underway on Monday when Portmore of Jamaica faced local Pro League outfit Caledonia AIA in Game 1 of a two-match playoff. Wayne Cunningham was at the Hazley Crawford Stadium and he has the highlights.
Football Club of Jamaica paid a visit to the Hazley Crawford Stadium on Monday, but it was all business as they faced Caledonia AIA of Mova Lavantil for the final Caribbean Football Union spot in the next installment of the CONCACAF Champions League. Already qualifying from the region are local club W Connection FC and Valencia of Haiti. The third Champions League berth will be decided by this two-match playoff. The Caledonian men are having a poor run of form coming off a 3-1 loss to W Connection in the Digicel Pro Bowl, but they started brightly against the Jamaican champions. Kima Foster in the Portmore goal, doing just enough to deny Nathan Lewis. Then, a now injury-free Andre Toussaint with a well-taken free kick, making Foster earn his pay once again. There was also some fine goalkeeping at the other end, as the Jamaicans got into stride. The dangerous Brian Bayliss with a centre for Paul Wilson, but Glenroy Samuel gets down well for the save. Wilson once again at the end of a Bayliss cross, but he snaps his shot wide. It would be Caledonia breaking the deadlock though. Toussaint with some fine work on the right flank to pick out Jamal Gay, who nods home. Foster gets a hand to the ball, but the Caledonia big man had just enough on it to make it 1-0 in the 27th minute. It looked like 2-0 when this shot left the boot of Akil Armstrong, but all he found was the side netting. Despite the efforts of Wilson, 1-0 Cali is how the first half would end. The TT Pro League runners-up went in search of some insurance in the second half, but poor finishing was the order of this period. First, Toussaint after following up the shot from Lewis. Then Denzel Theobald hitting his own rebound, but Foster does well. The Jamaicans, on the other hand, were still hunting. Cleon Price with a sight of goal. Price denied by Samuel off the header. Chances were coming at both ends as the game neared its close, with Foster doing the most work to keep Portmore in the match. But there would be no further scoring in this match. Caledonia AIA with a narrow 1-0 win, but it's not over. Game 2 will be on Wednesday at the Atto Bolden Stadium in Couva from 6 p.m. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
News 4 continues after the break. Cabinet's Finance and General Purposes Committee is still reviewing the draft National Policy on Gender and Development, according to Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development, the Honourable Marlene Coudray.
The purpose of the open house was to share the ministry's services with and to inform stakeholders and members of the public. Speaking at the event held by her ministry at the Centre of Excellence, Minister Marlene Coudray noted that based on concerns by members of religious bodies An addition to the policy would be submitted to the committee this week.
The mandate of the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development is to lead, facilitate and monitor the advancement of gender equality and the holistic development of children and young people in Trinidad and Tobago through policy and program development and through the delivery of relevant services and information to our clients in keeping with their needs. In this regard, the Ministry's efforts target people over the entire course of the life cycle, namely children, male and female, between 0 to 17 years, adolescents, male and female, from 12 to 17 years.
She said several religious bodies had concerns about the policy, so the ministry conducted 2 meetings in which the issues were discussed.
The future sustainability of our nation, therefore, lies in the development of our people. The People's Partnership Government, and particularly our Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar, understand this only too well, and the critical role of human capital to national development. The government has therefore committed to education, sport, health, culture, social services, gender equality, and the rights of the child and youth development as the foundations of human and social capital advancement in Trinidad and Tobago.
Meanwhile, the minister says gay rights will not be part of the government's draft national policy on gender and development. Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development, Marlene Kudre, finally breaking her silence on the issue, said gay rights were not a part of the gender policy, which is now before Cabinet, nor were they likely to be. Minister Kudre was responding to questions on a survey by the Caribbean Development Research Services Incorporated, which reportedly showed that the majority of citizens were either tolerant or accepting of homosexuality, and that it was not politically dangerous. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.